What's up, my fellow YouTube marks? It's the real Double K here in the Purple Room of Doom, coming to you on Tuesday, August 23rd, 2016. And guys, I am really excited about this because it is my very first rebooking video. It's something I do all the time at my real job in my brain to help pass the time. It's something I do on the video games, and it's something I do with my friends. Who doesn't love fantasy booking? Who doesn't like watching the crap on TV and saying, hey, you know what? I can do that better than the guys who get paid millions of dollars. And that's exactly what I'm here to do right now. And what I'm going to rebook is the naming and crowning of a new WWE Universal Champion. Instead of throwing together random matches and saying, hey, next week on Raw, for free, we're going to have a fatal four-way and name a new Universal Champion, why not have a tournament? Look, it's really unfortunate that Finn Balor's injured, and it's really unfortunate that he had to vacate the title. He just got called up. He got a monster push, had an amazing match with Seth Rollins at SummerSlam. 24 hours later, after winning a brand new title, he has to relinquish it. So this title has an uphill battle to being a legitimate championship in the first place. It always was going to. It's not the WWE Championship. SmackDown has that. It's ugly as sin, so the fans hate it. The belt is the biggest heel in the company right now. Everybody needs to calm down about the belt, because the match that Finn and Rollins had made that belt feel important. And that's what makes a title. Titles don't make men, men make titles. And those two made that title feel important with their match at SummerSlam, with them both sacrificing their bodies to entertain us, the fans, and ultimately Finn getting injured in the process of that match. So, instead of the random matches, instead of a free fatal four-way, I don't know, you've got a thing called Clash of the Champions. It's coming up next month. Yesterday, there were exactly 5 Raws before Clash of the Champions. And that's what they should have built on. You have time. It's a brand new pay-per-view for WWE. It's a brand new championship, so it needs as much legitimacy as possible. And I really feel like a tournament with some of the top names and some new names to the title picture could really make that title feel even more important than Seth and Finn did. And so, I've come up with a bracket and a few ideas that I think could get that belt over despite the fact that it's ugly as sin. So, let's take a look at the bracket, shall we? Da 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 da! There it is. With a real-life interpretation of the WWE Universal Championship, this is the bracket. This is what the next 5 weeks leading up to the Clash of the Champions looks like. Now, there are 16 men in this tournament, which means the first round is going to be 8 matches. But guess what? You can break up the first round over 2 Monday nights. And also with the tournament, what you can do is you can add a little bit of spice to some already existing feuds. So let's take a look at what I've done. In the first round, you've got Seth Rollins versus Neville. Now, I know Neville had a match last night on Raw to try to work his way into the Fatal 4-Way. No one really thought that Neville was going to win that match. No one really thought that Neville was going to be competing for the WWE Universal Championship. But he is going to be a cornerstone of the Cruiserweight division. I truly believe that. And adding him in a tournament for a vacant title really shows that he's not just a cruiserweight, that he's a real threat to any title in the WWE. And remember that amazing WWE World Heavyweight Championship Open Challenge that he answered against Seth Rollins? It was this close to being the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. And they can put on an amazing match. Even in losing, Neville can still look amazing and win. And this puts Seth Rollins into the next round. Next up is something that may surprise people because neither one of them really ever have a chance at being WWE Champion anytime soon. But It's obvious that they're going with this feud, even though they've missed the boat with it twice. Darren Young versus Titus O'Neil. That segment on Monday Night Raw was brutal. Never give Titus a microphone again. Like Marty DeRosa said on Twitter, I'm surprised marbles weren't falling out of his mouth. But since you're going to go with it, even though you didn't do it last year after SummerSlam when they lost the titles and you didn't hook up the primetime players, let's have the match. Fine. It has a stake being entrance into the next round of the WWE Universal title tournament. And it ends. It ends after this. You want to make Darren Young great again? This is another step. You have him beat Titus O'Neil clean, no Bob Backlund, 1, 2, 3, middle of the ring. He goes into the next round. Then we have Carl Anderson versus Kofi Kingston, because we know that sooner or later, the club or Anderson and Gallows or the Good Doctors or whatever they're called this week are going to get the titles off of the New Day. You're not going to continue having tag match after tag match after tag match with no finish or no titles on the line. So let's have a singles match. Let's spice it up a little bit. And guess what? Even though I love you, Kofi, Anderson goes over and he goes into the next round. And then, for the last match, for the first Raw, before the Clash of the Champions and after SummerSlam, Sheamus versus Sami Zayn in a rematch from the Raw before SummerSlam. But here's the deal. No Cesaro interference. No. Put Cesaro at the announce desk, but don't have him stand up. Don't have him distract Sheamus. No. Let Sheamus be his own undoing. The whole match, Sheamus has control. Sheamus is just beating Sami Zayn into a pulp. But the whole time, he keeps glancing over at Cesaro, glancing over at the announce table, saying, "Are you not entertained?" Showing Cesaro what he's going to do to him in match 2 of the Best of 7 series. Which, guess what? That's still a thing. That's why you have Cesaro at the announce table to talk about it, to talk about his loss at SummerSlam, to talk about how he's going to get that win back. Just because you don't have them in the ring with each other every single week, and just because they're in the ring with other people, doesn't mean that doesn't still happen. The Best of 7 is happening. And this is just an interesting way to keep it fresh and not just 7 straight matches. But in this match, Sheamus, bound and determined to show Cesaro what he's really made of, slips on a banana peel, loses focus, roll up, Sami Zayn, 1, 2, 3, into the next round. So, that's it for that episode of Raw. Next week, we come back and we have 4 more matches. Now, we're 4 weeks away from Clash of the Champions, and those matches look like this. Roman Reigns versus Y2J Chris Jericho. So, Jericho doesn't need a win. He's at that point in his career where he doesn't have to be involved in the main event picture to feel like a main event guy. He's Chris Jericho. He was the first undisputed champion. He's a 9-time Intercontinental champion. He's Chris Jericho. So, as everyone would expect, Roman Reigns wins. Next up is an interesting match that actually happened last night on Monday Night Raw, but that I hated the finish of, and that was Big Cass versus Rusev. He's a super athlete, right? He's like 300 pounds. He's one of the most athletic big men to come along in a really long time, and you have him lose by countout because his ribs hurt? No. Cass loses. It's not gonna hurt him. He's a tag team guy. He doesn't have to win singles matches. As long as he wins when Enzo is in the ring, that's all that matters. Rusev wins because he's your United States champion, and because, guess what? That puts him in another match with Reigns, and it's not for the United States Championship, but it keeps the rivalry going. So Rusev over Cass, no excuses, he wins. Now, furthering the Jericho and Enzo and Cass rivalry from SummerSlam. We have Kevin Owens versus Enzo Amore. Amore. Here's the thing. No interference by Cass. No interference by Jericho. Kevin Owens destroys Enzo. Really just beats him down. Pop-up powerbomb. 1, 2, 3. I say you don't even have the match go longer than 5 minutes. Owens owns Enzo. Into the next round. And then the final match of the first round, Luke Gallows versus Big E. Again, keeping the New Day Club rivalry going, keeping it fresh. No interference from Anderson or Kofi or Xavier. Just two big bulls going at it in a physical match. And we all have read the rumors that Big E's in line for a huge singles push. Well, this is where it starts because Big E goes over Luke Gallows. It's not gonna hurt Gallows. He's a heel. He's in a tag team. It's fun. Big E wins. Now, that takes us to week 3 after SummerSlam, 2 weeks away from the Clash of the Champions. And we have Seth Rollins versus Darren Young, Carl Anderson versus Sami Zayn, Roman Reigns versus Rusev, and Kevin Owens versus Big E. All happen in one night. It's called pacing. You have to be smart about this. You've got 5 weeks. You don't have to do it all at once. You just made fans sit through like 100 hours of wrestling on SummerSlam weekend. Slow it down a little bit. It's called a slow burn. The reason people can't stand it anymore is because you took it away in the Attitude Era. If you bring it back, they'll learn to love it. So, Seth Rollins versus Darren Young. Have a competitive match. Really make Darren Young look like he could win. Have a lot of false finishes. Don't have Backlund get involved. Don't have Titus come out because we killed that rivalry last week. It's done. No more Titus versus Darren. But in the end, Seth Rollins wins because he's the man. Next up, Carl Anderson versus Sami Zayn. You do the same thing this week that you did 2 weeks ago when you have Sheamus beat the crap out of Sami Zayn. Anderson is just owning Sami Zayn. And then he fights back from underneath because he is the underdog from the underground. Blue Thunder Bomb, and you finish with it. No haluva kick. Blue Thunder Bomb. 1, 2, 3. Sami Zayn's in the next round. Now, the next match, Roman Reigns versus Rusev. Now, there was a lot of debate internally about how to handle this match. Do you have Reigns win clean again? Does that make Rusev look weak? Does it make him look like he can't beat Roman Reigns? Do you have Lana interfere? Do you have a count out? Do you have a DQ? You have a DQ. Reigns wins by DQ. It's called a receipt. That's what it is, because at SummerSlam, Roman Reigns beat the ungodly crap out of Rusev to the point where he couldn't continue. You have Rusev destroy Roman Reigns with a chair. But before you have him do all that, you have him take that stupid flak jacket off and really beat the tar out of him. Reigns wins by DQ. Rusev gets his heat back by destroying Roman Reigns, and you make Roman look a little sympathetic. That's, if you want him to be a babyface, he needs sympathy. Rusev beating him down in a Lesnar-Orton-esque fight is how you do it. But Reigns continues on. And then, in the final match of this round, Kevin Owens versus Big E. Big E has an amazing showing. Big E's good for a big man. He's up there with Rusev as an amazingly athletic big man. He's charismatic, he's funny, he's got the it factor. You want to continue that kind of push? foreshadowing that he's going to be a big single star one day, but Kevin Owens cheats to win. He rakes the eyes, roll up, got the tights, whatever it takes. 1, 2, 3. Kevin Owens is in the semifinals. Now, we're 2 weeks out from Clash of the Champions, and we've got 2 matches. But wait, there's 2 more Raws before Clash. But there's 2, what? Be patient, Marks. So, Seth Rollins versus Sami Zayn. Think about it. What is everyone going to think has happened? It's going to be an amazing match. It's going to be match of the night candidate, just like it always is when you put these 2 men in the ring. But guess what? Sami Zayn wins. That's right. Not Rollins. Everyone expects. If you looked at this, if you saw these 4 men, you'd think Rollins versus Reigns at Clash of the Champions. But that's not what that belt needs. That belt needs new era blood. It needs surprising finishes. It needs something fresh. Sami Zayn beats Seth Rollins. I guarantee you, any arena in the world that happens, and by the way, that's your main event for Monday Night Raw that week, the place explodes. You get the pop of the century. Zayn over Rollins. Next up, Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens. Reigns, right? Reigns wins. Reigns versus Zayn. Kind of like that Reigns and Daniel Bryan storyline they had. Wrong. No. Kevin Owens wins. You've got Roman Reigns in a feud with Rusev. Have Rusev cost Roman the match. Have Rusev cost Roman the match. That way, Owens gets good heat by cheating yet again to win, but he still wins. He's a heel. That's what he's supposed to do. Come on. Kevin Owens beats Roman Reigns, goes to Clash of the Champions. Uh-oh. What do we got over here? What do we got over here? We have a Clash of the Champions with Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens. What? The match that every fan in the world would want to see for the WWE Universal Championship. The one match that would shut people up about the fruit roll-up belt. Yes! Appease us for once, please, WWE. Give us what we want. Those two have stolen every show they've ever been on together when they're in the ring. It makes sense. Did you not hear the pop from last night when they just looked at each other before Sami Zayn's match? That is the modern day Brett and Shawn. Anytime you need a match that'll blow the joint up, anytime you need a 5-star match, anytime you need a match of the year candidate in any arena, in any country in the world, Zayn versus Owens. It's simple. And guess what? It should happen at Clash of the Champions. It should happen for the Universal Championship. That match, the work that they will do in that match will put that title on the map as important. And that's what it needs. It's that simple. You want people to quit booing the belt. Make it important. Make that match happen. But we've still got a Raw. We've still got a Raw before Clash of the Champions. And here's what you do. You end the night. Not with a contract signing. You can start the night off with that. You can have them sign it. You can show a pre-tape where they sign the contract in Foley and Steph's office as the open of the show. It doesn't have to be live. It doesn't have to be a big hullabaloo. Sammy can come in and sign it. You can do a cut. Owens can come in and sign it. They never have to be in the same room. You end the show with these two and 2 microphones. You darken the crowd. Spotlight on the center of the ring. And they cut a promo on each other. 13 years. They've been best friends. Everything they've ever done. All the fights. All the blood. All the battles. All the laughs. All the good time. Everything comes down to this. Somehow, Even when they say it's the last time, somehow fate pulls them back together. They'll always be intertwined. No matter what the other is doing, they'll carry the other guy with them in some way. Your main event at the Clash of the Champions for the vacated WWE Universal Championship. Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn. Give them 30 minutes. I know that does not happen in WWE anymore. Give these two 30 minutes. Let them tell the story with their work. And I guarantee you, you will not be disappointed. At Clash of the Champions, the new WWE Universal Champion, Kevin Owens. He's the most over babyface. He's the most over heel you have. And guess what? If in that 6 months that Finn Balor's out, you want to turn him babyface, the people won't crap on it. If you want to keep him a heel, Sami Zayn, Roman Reigns, any of these guys, anyone, he can have match of the night with him. I know he doesn't look like your typical champion, but neither did Mick Foley. Kevin Owens is what's going to make that title important while Finn Balor's gone. And guess what? You don't have him lose until Finn comes back. You know they can go. You saw it for the NXT Championship. Those two will burn the building down. Kevin Owens is the Universal Champion. So that's it, guys. So there it is, guys. My very first rebooking video, rebooking a crowning of a new WWE Universal Champion. Let me know what you thought. Leave me a comment in the comments below. Hit me up on Twitter at @therealdouble_K. Guys, I know these are silly videos. I know it's pro wrestling, but it's my passion. I'm trying to follow a dream. I know the videos aren't the best quality. The sound's not the best quality. I record on a Kindle in my office, the Purple Room of Doom, and I'm just trying to chase a dream. But anything, good, bad, indifferent, let me know. Send me a tweet. I will answer. Leave me a comment. I will answer. And guys, stay tuned. Please subscribe. Please share. Please favorite. And that's it. I'm out.